McCracken County Fiscal Court meeting to order, and ask the clerk to call roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Here.
Commissioner Wadden.
Here.
And Judge Leeper.
Here. Commissioner Wadden, would you
Yes.
lead some word of prayer, please?
Yes. Spout. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the day you've given us today. Father, we pray as we start our meeting off tonight that you give us wisdom and understanding to make the right decisions for our counties. Pray as we start off our new year that you bless everyone here. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. This time I'd entertain a motion for approval of the minutes from the December 11th, 2017 meeting. Motion by Commissioner Bartleman, second by Commissioner Wathen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion's approved. Next, we have the Road Department report with our road engineer, Mr. Randy Williams.
Good evening, everyone. Start off with the Maxon Road update, of course. I don't know if any of you driven through there lately, but it's a lot different than it was last year. They've completed the bridge, and you can drive completely through the project now from 60 all the way to 305. And you'll be driving on an asphalt base except for a small, around 400-foot section between Connie Sue and Springbrook. It is still the rock that they did not get done in time to get it paved. So if you do go through there, like I said, it's an asphalt base that's down right now. It's the larger asphalt that goes down, and in the spring they'll put an asphalt surface on it and make it ride smoother, and it seals the water out a lot better. So if you're looking at the curb and gutter, you'll see that it's down a little bit. So whenever they get finished with it, it's all flush with the gutter. With winter being here, that means several things to us at the road department. That's the time of year that...
Let me ask a quick question, if I could, about Maxon Road.
Go ahead.
Does the winter weather, the way it's done, will that hurt it? Freezing and thawing and snow and plowing, will that hurt just the base is down, or is it the same as if it was?
No, it shouldn't.
Okay.
It being an asphalt base, it may let some water in instead of it being surface, but it's not going to be something that's going to shouldn't hurt it. So,
Good, thank you.
And they have pretty well shut down for the winter as far as any construction activities are going. No really concrete work, but when they do get started back in the spring, it should not take them very long at all to get completed with it. So I'd say they should be done by early summer with it. With winter being here, some of the things that we have going on in the wintertime is we cut brush back. We still do a lot of ditching. It's a really good time of year to get out and look at pipes and get your summer's work lined up, because it's easy to get down, a lot easier to get down, look in the pipes when the vegetation's missing and snakes are hibernating. It makes me feel a lot better. And of course, the big thing that we do in the wintertime is we keep a close watch on the forecast, the weather, see what's going on with it. We try to be able to watch it close enough that we can get a game plan together for how to react when we do have an event coming up. There's a lot of things that goes into coming up with a game plan. It's you've got just a few of the things. The CDL laws, these drivers still have to obey the CDL laws. They're only allowed to be behind the wheel around 11 hours a day. I guess one of the biggest things, though, that we do have to keep in mind is the temperature, the air temperature and pavement temperature. Salt is really effective the closer to 32 it gets. Just to, I know you hear a lot of times that, you get down below a certain temperature and salt's ineffective. Well, really it just loses its effectiveness. I did did a little research, and 1 pound of salt at 30 degrees can melt 46 pounds of ice. At 25 degrees, that same pound of salt will only melt 14.4 pounds of ice. And at 20 degrees, it's only going to melt 8.6 pounds of ice. So it's quite a steep drop off after the first 5 or so degrees under 32. So One thing I do have a note that I want to be sure to say is that the public can help us out whenever we do have a snow event by not parking on the road. If you're parked in the road, it may prevent our plows from being able to get in and do the work they need to do. So if they could not park in the roadway, if they see a neighbor parked there and they want out, they might want to go ask their neighbor to try to be sure to move. So that's something that other people can do to help. We have a Vector truck. It's a piece of equipment that we use to flush out pipes and to vacuum up the debris from it. It's a really expensive piece of equipment that we have, and we've got it scheduled for some maintenance and repairs. It is going to be pretty expensive, but I just wanted to, and it may cause my account for equipment maintenance to go over of my budget, but I just want to make sure y'all know that I'm taking that into account and will compensate for it in some of the other accounts. So it is going to be a big expense, but it's needed. It's still a good piece of equipment. And I've done some research, talked to JSA, and it's definitely worth going ahead and getting the repairs done on it that's needed. Last thing I wanted to mention was that I want to thank the Fiscal Court. Last year, during budget time, I requested funding to pave the area on our back lot between the equipment shed and the repair shop. Contractor was able to get that done this year, and it's a lot nicer to be able to walk through there. It's a lot cleaner, neater, and you're not tracking near the mud and everything else that you get on your feet crossing the lot. So I want to thank y'all for that. Anybody have any questions?
No, thank you very much. Appreciate your service.
Thanks.
Next item, we have our Berkeley Regional Airport audit. We've got Jay Page, our chairman of the board, and we have Richard Roof here to make the presentation. Appreciate you being here, Jay.
Good evening, Judge. Thank you. And Commissioners, won't be taking long tonight. First off, we'd like to start with the most important thing, and that's the audit. A couple of points here is the auditor determined that audit presents fairly all material aspects of the financial condition of the airport authority for the audit period. The audit contained notice of no discrepancies. That is, it was a clean audit. And a kind of a summary on it, operating revenues decreased 3.1% in fiscal 17 over 16. Expenses rose by 10.8%. Two reasons for that. One was some heavy maintenance that was unexpected, and secondly was an increase in the depreciation schedule. We get hit really hard by depreciation if we have a $2 million project and FAA is picking up 90% at $1.8 million and we're contributing $200,000. We have to depreciate the entire $2 million. So it really swings things around to affect the financial statements. On airline service, SkyWest Airlines, doing business as United Express, provides 2 round-trip daily jet flights to Chicago O'Hare, which is the nation's second largest hub, with infinite number of possibilities. They will carry more passengers, in fact already have, for 2017 calendar year than they did last year. So that's a good sign. A couple of interesting trends is that now 10% of our traffic to and from Chicago is local, goes no further than Chicago. And even more interesting is slightly more people come down from Chicago to Paducah than fly back than originate here, go to Chicago and come back. And then finally, what we think is a very interesting statistic, 10% of our tickets are also internationally booked. People leaving the country or coming in from out of the country. So that's a unique aspect of convenience that the O'Hare connection gives us. On airport projects, we have up and going now about $2 million currently under a 90% FAA grant. We have an airport master plan update. We haven't had one done in over 10 years, so this is to update the numbers and look at where we need to be thinking of improvements and expansions in the next 10-year cycle. We're going to replace all the lighted airfield directional signs. There are about 60 of them out there. The new ones will conform to the latest FAA standards, and there'll also be LEDs. Last year we finished a taxiway lighting project where most of our taxiway lights went LEDs. So we're looking forward to that. We'll wind up milling and repaving about half of the airport's taxiway network. We're hoping to replace our airport police department cruiser with a new one. And we have a design for a sewer line extension that will depart the premises of the airport and hook onto JSA at about the McCracken High School. And we're looking forward to that. The airport's operated a package treatment plant since 1980, but state regulations are becoming increasingly complex and expensive to comply with, so we would really like to be able not to have to maintain that package plant. So the ideal solution is to go ahead and tap on to JSA. So on behalf of the Airport Authority, the Board of Directors and staff, we sincerely appreciate the support and interest that the Fiscal Court has shown in the facility, and we extend an invitation for any of you to come out and tour. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to give you an answer.
Question, Bob.
You said you replaced all the lights on one of the runways with LED lights. Did you notice a difference in the power bill?
Bill, that was a taxiway lights.
Taxiway.
And yes, indeed, instead of a kind of a dull blue, these are very bright.
Did you notice a difference in the power bill? Did it save you money?
That's hard to say because the lighting system will come on, will be turned on in the daytime if the weather's bad. So there are a lot of variables there that it's hard to calculate out. We have not only the airfield lighting, but our rotating beacon attached to that particular circuit. So it's really hard to separate out, but it should result in a savings. There is one unique aspect of the LED lighting that you need to stop and consider, and that is when we had cold weather and snow, the heat of the old incandescent fixtures pretty well melted the snow off the fixture. That doesn't work with the LED fixtures, so our units have built-in heaters that come on to throw enough heat to keep the snow off the fixture, and it's temperature sensitive, so we don't have to do anything. It does it on its own. So we may have that opportunity in the next week or two to see how well that works.
Yes.
I think, Richard, we really appreciate the work you've done at the airport. I think you've run the airport since the Wright brothers probably landed there. Maybe.
I was at Kitty Hawk.
I'm sure they came here, though, to see you. But anyway, we appreciate the work you've done at the airport. You've been there since the 70s, early 70s.
In this job since '74. Made my first buck off the place in June of '62.
Anyway, we appreciate the work you've done there and your dedication to that. And we know you're an expert on, if we ever have to ask a question, we sometimes have to cut you off on the answer because you tell us how they build airplanes when we ask questions. But we really appreciate the work you've done and the knowledge you've had. You've helped make it a better airport.
Thank you.
And operate well. Appreciate the work you've done.
Let me just say thank you, Richard, and thank you, Jay, and your board. You've got a very, very active board. I know Commissioner Watson serves on a terminal kind of subcommittee of that group, but y'all are extremely active. Everybody I've put on there has commented that this is not your typical board. We actually work for a living, and I appreciate that, and the community appreciates it. If they don't understand it, they're missing out because y'all do a good job, and we appreciate what you do for the community. It's vital.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, gentlemen, we have the second reading of ordinance 2017-18. Do you have anything in your paperwork? We've had the first reading, so.
Right, we just vote on it.
Right. We will just run the ordinance itself is in your packet in the back. So if there are no questions, I would just entertain a motion, and then we'll have a discussion if there's any. I have a motion by Commissioner Barham, second by Commissioner Watson for approval of ordinance 2017-08. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to comment? Any commissioners wishing to comment? Seeing none, when the clerk is ready, I'll ask her to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye. Next, we have budget transfers, Mr. Hancock.
It is ordered to make the following cash transfers in order to pay the county bills approved December 27th, 2017, in the amount of $256,536.91.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Watham, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any discussion? Seeing none, ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye. Next, the accounts payable, Mr. Hancock.
It is ordered to approve the vouchers claims register from December 11, 2017 to December 27, 2017 to show county bills in the amount of $452,455.27 were paid.
Motion by Commissioner Watham, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any discussion? Seeing none, ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye. Next, Madam Clerk, the orders.
Okay. It is ordered that the McCracken County Clerk's statutorily required budget, cumulative report, and annual settlement for calendar year 2018 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Watham, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any discussion? Seeing none, ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered that the McCracken County Sheriff's statutorily required budget, cumulative report, and annual settlement for calendar year be, whoa.
Sorry.
Yeah, y'all are just gonna have to bear with me.
We'll be all right.
For calendar year 2018 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bartleman, second by Commissioner Watham. Any discussion? Ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered that Lynn Dickey be hired as a part-time deputy clerk at a rate of $15 per hour, less statutory deductions, effective January 2nd, 2018.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Watham, second by Commissioner
Filling a
Bartleman.
vacancy?
Yes, actually, it's filling a full-time vacancy with a part-time.
So it's within the budget guidelines?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you. We got a motion, second.
Mhm.
Any other discussions? Seeing none, ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered that Ryan Burrow be hired as a full-time road deputy at an annual salary of $43,000, less statutory deductions, effective January 1st, 2018. This includes the annual $4,000 incentive pay for POPS certified officers. It is further ordered that Ryan Burrow be paid a training stipend of $1,500.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Bartleman. I had the honor of swearing this young man in today. I think he's going to be quite an asset, Mr. Sheriff. I've known him for a little while. That being said, I'd entertain a motion. All right, we've got the motion. I'd ask clerk to call the roll.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered that Russell Matlock be hired as a full-time deputy jailer effective December 17th, 2017, at an hourly rate of $12.50 per hour, less statutory deductions, all of which are subject to further order of the court.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Watson, second
Second.
by Commissioner Bartleman. Any discussion? Ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered to accept the resignation of full-time deputy jailer Beverly Hill effective December 18th, 2017. She is to be paid for 17.5 vacation days and has no sick time.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Bartleman, second by Commissioner Watson. Any discussion? Seeing none, ask clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered that Sarah Hardery be reclassified from full-time deputy jailer to receptionist/MRT trainer, a non-hazardous position at the same rate of pay effective December 1st, 2017.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, ask clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered to pay Jim Smith Contracting Company, LLC, pay application number 8, in the amount of $161,727.59 for the Maxon Road Improvement Project.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Bartlett, second by Commissioner Wathen. Any discussion? Questions? Ask the clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wathen?
Aye.
Commissioner Bartleman?
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered that a bid opening was held at 10:05 a.m. on December 19th, 2017 at the McCracken County Courthouse for Carson Park Event Arena. One bid was received from Pryfert. The bid was taken under advisement.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wathen, second
Second.
by Commissioner Bartleman. Question?
Is this something that was in our plan for the arena? I know we've talked about other projects out there. Was this?
This is part of the board's effort to use some money that was grant money from the agriculture department. We have been able to come up with a plan to renovate the concession stand, and that left money over, so we're doing some other renovations in the park, and this is one of those. So it'll be using the grant money
So it's
plus our
coming in
match.
within the available funds from the grant?
Right, but the grant intended for us to do a match,
Right,
so.
to a match. Just
right.
with the grant and the match.
Right,
is
this will be within that.
And you obviously endorse that plan with the
Absolutely.
board on it? Okay.
Yeah. Seeing none, ask clerk to call roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Wathen?
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered to enter into an agreement with Terminex, 135 Main Street, Utica, Kentucky, 42001, in the amount of $6,860 a year for pest control on McCracken County Fiscal Court properties.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Is this everything, the court, jail, the courthouse?
Mr. Moore, would you come forward? I want him to
Yeah,
speak to this because this is an interesting effort that, once again, we raise questions and then I turn Mr. Moore loose and good things happen, and I'd like for him to discuss where we were and where we are now.
Right. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners. Yes, Judge Leeper asked for us to take a look at this, pest control services, to see what we could do. And presently, we only have 4 properties that we are under our control, under Fiscal Court's control. The PVA office, the road department, the courthouse, and the jail, and the low-risk jail. And we presently pay $5,698 a year for those properties. What we did, we went out because we want to get pest control in pretty much all the properties we own. I'll give you an example. Like, for instance, where we store all our voting machines, we never had any pest control there. And if something was to get in there and we go over and get ready to have an election and they look up and something's happened to some of these voting machines, it would be pretty big deal. So we went out and asked for pest control proposals on all the properties that are under the Fiscal Courts: the jail, the low-risk jail, the Angels stores their facility at the low-risk jail, PVA office, the road department, the EOC building, the emergency management where they store all their boats and equipment over there, also the Carson Park facilities, and the Reedland Community Building and the Heath Community Building. So we get about 13 properties, and we set it up with different types of treatment. And so we get this whole package now for $6,700, I believe it is, where we were paying $5,600 just to get these 4 done. These 4 that we were having done, since we went out and got 4 proposals for it, we were going to get the 4 that we presently have, not for $5,600, but for $4,900. So I think this is a good deal for the county, and we get this taken care of.
Is this just a typical spraying, and how often?
When we went out for proposals, we told them to tell us, but we wanted rodent and insect, exterior and interior.
How often do they do it?
Well, they're different time frames.
Different, some are quarterly, some are monthly. It
All of
depends
them
on
are
the facility.
monthly or quarterly. Like the Reedland Community Center is quarterly, the Heath Community Center is quarterly, Floral Hall's quarterly, the other office building at Carson Park is quarterly, about everything else in is monthly.
This is a one-year contract?
This is a one-year contract.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Appreciate the effort you put into this. I think we're much better served by this effort. That being said, we have a motion and second. Ask the call roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is ordered to pay Cornerstone Detention Products, Inc., pay application number 1 in the amount of $128,250 for security locking updates at the McCracken County Jail.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any discussion?
Anybody got a
Questions for
question?
Mr. Moore?
This is the first payment on that, and this is what you were saying they're going to start.
This is the first payment by a contractor, and this is for the electrical. They got a subcontractor, Cornerstone Electrical Contractor, and his work is 65% complete. And then this includes the engineering and some other issues but work that the Cornerstone has to do to get ready to go, and it's anticipated that we'll be fully underway either Monday, January the 8th, or the following Monday. Going to determine that this week.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Any other discussion questions? Thank you, Mr. Moore. Ask the clerk call the roll, please.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is hereby ordered that the resignation of Todd Jones from the position of Assistant McCracken County Attorney shall be accepted and be effective on November 24th, 2017. He separates with 34.75 vacation days and 67 sick days. He shall be compensated for the vacation days based on his county rate of pay, and the sick days shall be credited towards retirement.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Bartleman, second by Commissioner Watson. Any discussion? Seeing none, ask clerk call roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is hereby ordered that James Mills, Assistant McCracken County Attorney, shall be transferred from his currently county-funded position into the county-funded position previously held by Todd Jones. Mr. Mills' transfer to this position shall be effective as of December 1st, 2017. His annual rate of pay shall be $28,988.19, subject to statutory deductions and any other further orders of the court.
Motion.
So moved.
Commissioner Watson, second. Commissioner Bartleman.
Yes.
Any discussion? Seeing none, ask clerk call roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye.
It is hereby ordered that Steve Skinner shall be hired into the position of Assistant McCracken County Attorney and placed in the county-funded position previously held by James Mills. Mr. Skinner's hiring shall be effective as of December 16th, 2017. His annual rate of pay shall be $31,010.35, subject to the statutory deductions and any other further orders of the court.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, ask clerk call roll, please.
Commissioner Waddin.
Aye.
Commissioner Bartleman.
Aye.
And Judge Leeper.
Aye. Board appointments.
It is hereby ordered to reappoint Glenn Anderson to the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Bartleman, second by Commissioner Watson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion's approved.
It is ordered to reappoint Linda Crow Curtis to the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Motion by Commissioner Bartleman, second by Commissioner Watson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
It is ordered to reappoint Alan Cleet to the Board of Barclay Regional Airport.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
It is ordered to reappoint Keith Anderson to the IBA Board.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Bartleman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. Motion's approved. But at this time, do any of you gentlemen have any comments before we take a motion for executive session? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion for executive session.
I hereby move the board go into closed session for discussion of matters pertaining to the following topics. Topics required by state or federal law to be conducted in secret as permitted by KRS 61.8101K, attorney-client privilege communication.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion's approved. We'll be back in a bit.